Hello everyone. Enough of Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann Nakamura, and let's talk about Mikhail Tal. This game is taken from the famous book Life and Games of Mikhail Tal, and it's a very interesting game that has a queen sacrifice, that has a very interesting end game. Let's see. It started by e4. Tal is playing against 𝑙𝒂𝒄𝒓𝒊𝒄𝒄, another grandmaster, and 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒓 is famous for his kind of tricky openings. So after e4, e5, knight f3, instead of the most played line and the most solid one, which is knight c6 to support and defend the pawn, he went on to play d5, which is a gambit. Tal said, I have now two problems. The first problem is to remember what's the name of this defense. I don't know what's this defense called even, because I never faced it OTB on the board. By the way, back then, there was not online games. So what should I do? I tried, which is fascinating, I tried to remember what's written about this move order, about this move, d5. And he remembered two games, one by 𝒂𝒂💏💄𝒄, annotated by 𝒂𝒂💏💄💄, in which knight takes e5 played, and 𝒂�💏💄💄 did not recommend this line and recommended e takes d5, and he remembered another game, e d5 played by white, and white went on to win the game. So e d5 actually played, and after e4, Tal played queen e2, pinning the pawn so the knight cannot be taken, f5 supporting the pawn because it was under attack. By the way, Tal said this is not a very accurate move. Knight f6 for those who wanted to play this gambit online. I never advised to do this OTB. So after knight f6, d3, and now we go bishop e7, and after d takes e4, castling. For the lack of harmony, the lack of development for white, black has some sort of compensation, but I don't believe it's enough. So after queen e2, f5, d3 is played, again attacking the pawn twice, knight f6 defending, d takes e4, f takes e4, and knight c3 attacking the pawn one more time. And 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒓 here played very quickly bishop b4, pinning the knight with the king, and Tal played queen b5. After queen b5, 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒓 started to think deeply. Now, yes, he cannot go knight c6, which is probably the famous reply to queen b5 check to support the bishop. Sometimes it's queen a4 check because of the pawn, but I can go c6 because if you take my bishop, I can take your knight. And here, a very important chess lesson. Focus. In open positions, forget totally about pawns movement. No pawns are allowed to move. This is a very open position. You need to develop as fast as possible, and the king safety is key. So here in this position, bishop g5 Tal played. Did not care about g takes f3, d takes c6, nothing. After bishop g5, cd5, castling long, bringing one more piece to the game, and put the king in the safe corner, or in a kind of safe place. I mean, in comparison to this king. Knight c6 attacking the queen, and now Tal played queen a3. Tal said, I don't want to play queen c5 here because I don't want the game to be colorless, like without any life after queen e7. The best move, according to the engine, is queen takes e7, and according to Tal as well. But after queen takes e7, knight takes e7, bishop takes f6, g takes f6, knight takes d5, knight d5, rook d5, computer says this is completely winning, +3 for white. But Tal said, this is a colorless opening or a colorless position, I don't want to play it. What? He wanted to sacrifice something, he wanted attention, action on the game. So after knight c6 attacking the queen, queen a3, and Tal said if you go queen e7 now, it's not the same as queen c5 because my queen is protected. And I have time for knight takes d5. You cannot take with the knight because you will lose your queen. And if you exchange threatening my knight, then I can go knight c7 first. You cannot attack my knight according to the rook or thanks to the rook, and b takes a3 is coming. So after queen a3, his opponent played bishop e6, supporting the d5 pawn one more time. And now the engine says play it safe and play rook e1, and you have a +3 advantage and you're completely winning. But Tal likes always to turn things into tactical pattern, tactical brilliancy. And now bishop c4 is played. You cannot take dc4 because you will lose the queen. But wait a second. I can take because I will lose the queen, right? Right. But for sure, Tal, you considered queen e7. And now after queen e7, I am threatening two threats. A normal threat for a normal player, which is d takes e4. And another threat for Tal is to exchange queens. Tal did not want to exchange queens. Though, computer says after queen takes e7, knight takes e7, bishop b5, king f7. G takes f3. This is almost winning advantage. 1.5 advantage for white. But Tal again wanted a very complicated battle. But what can you do? I mean, your bishop is under fire and the queen exchanged are on the air. So how to avoid both of them? By the most common answer for Tal. Sacrificing the queen. Knight takes d5. Wait a second, you said sacrificing the queen, but why do you want to sacrifice the queen? Because if you wanted to go for endings, like after queen takes a3, b takes a3, okay, it's slightly better for white, but this is considered a colorless again, according to Tal. So after queen takes a3, Tal played knight c7 first. And after king e7, Tal said, I don't want to take my opponent queen, because then I will lose my bishop. It's a very tough sentence to understand. Again, I don't want to take or to capture my opponent queen because I will lose my bishop. Hello. So what to do? Sacrificing the queen and play rook h2 e1. Looking for more dramatic action against this king on e7 while the queen is on pre. The queen is under fire. So here Lotikov said, okay, fine. I go queen c7. I am defending my queen, attacking both bishops here. If you take my rook, simply losing for you. I go queen takes g5 check. And after you go king b1, like f takes g2 simply, rook d8 next, and g1 is coming. Everything is coming. What can you do in this position? You can do nothing, my friend. So what happened was Tal played rook takes e6. And after rook takes e6, you cannot go to the d file thanks to the rook. And king f7 is not logical move because there is a bishop here and you might face some discovery issues. That's why after rook takes e6, king f8 is the only move. And now what to do? Only move for white. Try to find it out. Only move for white. Not to keep an advantage. It's not a huge one. It's almost +1. But not also to lose the game. Rook takes f6. And after rook takes f6, g takes f6. Now, note that there is a fork here and there. So knight e6 check, king e7, and taking on c5. But wait a second, all of this drama, queen sacrifices, bishops on a pre, tactics, etc. And again, it's just endgames. And you are exchanged down, Tal. Yes, but the story is never finished. Rook d7 check. Keep attacking. King f6, I have no pieces. Keep attacking. I have only pawns. Keep attacking. I have only one pawn. Keep attacking. This is how Tal played chess. Rook d6 check. King e7. And now, to avoid repetition, rook e6 check played. And now king d8. After king d8, Tal took the pawn. And after king c7, very interesting move. And the best move in this position, bishop d5. And now something to be said. In this position, computer says it's equal, but black has to find f takes g2. Right, it's equal, but Lotikov is a human. And he was solving problems long time ago. So probably his energy level, his focus level, his everything level is completely down. So now he played a mistake and he played the second best move knight b4. And there's a problem with this knight. Actually, the idea seems interesting. I am attacking the bishop, attacking on a2 as well, gaining one more pawn, and pawns in endgames is very important. So after bishop takes f3, rook e8 is played, and now knight c5 supporting the rook. And now knight takes a2 looks normal, but this is a losing move. I mean, last chance was rook takes e6, knight takes, and after you move the king, say king d6, knight takes g5. And now knight f7 is a threat, right? And I am, or you are up an exchange, but I am up 4 pawns. So that should be winning for white. But his opponent said, okay, why to do that? I can take on a2. And after king b1, now I can go back knight b4. Unfortunately, this is untrue. Why? Because there is c3. And now the knight is trapped. Knight d5 prevented, knight c6 prevented, thanks to the bishop and to the rook. Knight a6 actually prevented, knight d3 as well, knight c2 and a2 is completely blocked. So if rook takes e6, knight takes e6. And now, king d7, I give a check and take supporting the knight. For example, king d6, I can take supporting the knight. And if you go to d6, I can go knight takes g5. And now I'm threatening both. F takes and knight f7 check to fork these two guys. So after king d1, rook takes e6 is played, knight takes e6. And after king d7, Tal check first. And after king d6, now knight d3. Saying that this knight is out of the game, cannot go back because of knight takes b4, and the knight will be taken. Two pieces is most likely better than a rook, and it's not only two pieces, it's two pieces with two extra pawns, one on the queen side and one on the king side. So in order not to suffer more, black decided to resign the game. This is actually a game taken from that series. If you are interested in seeing and watching more games for Tal, you can find the series over there. If you wanted to see something special in the future, there's a circle on your right. You can subscribe, like, and share, and see you very soon. Have a nice one.